Shalom, y'all. Just doing a quick lesson on giving you some wisdom on who Esau is, who he isn't, uh, on the white man, stuff like that. Um, just with where I'm at right now, with my experience, with what I've studied, um, and with what I experienced, uh, it's hard to sit there like a lot of these groups go out there and say that, oh, the white man's Esau. I mean, you literally can't say that. I mean, you had a Hamitic couple, a Nigerian couple, have a white daughter who, I mean, she looked blonde hair, blue eye, looked just like a white person. Came from a Nigerian couple, and if you walked up to some of these groups, they'd be like, "Hey, that's Esau." You know what I'm saying? So that blows that right out the water. Um, the other big thing is when you look in the Bible, the Bible does not identify these nations by physical attributes. The Bible identifies these other nations by um, behaviors, basically. Okay. So the same way that you'd be able to identify us as a people, it didn't say, "Hey, their noses would be approximately this wide, and their lips would look like this, and their skin would be approximately this complexion." No, it identifies us as a nation of people by our behavior and by the curses that are upon us as a nation. Same thing with Esau. It identifies them, and I'm just summing it up as the ruling class. And because people just like to oversimplify stuff, they're like, "Oh yeah, the white people rule everything." But when you really study, um, and that's the other part of it, people don't study, uh, or I'm not gonna say people don't study. People don't have a broad enough understanding of politics, finance, geopolitics. They haven't traveled. Um, but when you do some studying, you see that these white people, per se, these Europeans don't rule everything. There is a ruling class. There is a nation that rules everything. There's a group of people who rule the media. There's a group of people who rule social media. There's a group of people who control the news. There's a group of people, this same nation, they control Hollywood. This group of people, they control the Federal Reserve. Okay, there's a group of people. It's one nation of people who rule all that. There's a nation of people that Hitler wrote about in his book Mein Kampf, where he said, "I fear they have already taken over the U.S." There's a group of people that these so-called far right uh, white supremacist organizations. There's a nation of people that they write about that's ruling over them that they don't like. Okay, there's a group of people that rule the NBA. There's a nation of people that finance and controlled slavery that the so-called slave masters worked for. Okay, so you have to study your history on that. There's a group of people that is the House of Saud, that petrodollar deal that was cut in the 1970s was cut with. There's a group of people. There's a group of people that is over the Catholic Church is made up of. That's the ruling class. The I forget what the laity, the piety of the Catholic Church. You know, the people who wear the purple and red over the Catholic Church. There's a group that are over there in uh, the Vatican City. Okay, that that's a group of people, and that's all a nation of people. There's a book another book that that's out. Who is Esau? That's on eBay. That's selling for $3,000. So there's a lot of information pointing to that. But what I'm saying is try to identify people by physical attributes, you're gonna make a fool out of yourself. Look at Blake Griffin's daughter. You know what I'm saying? They call her Esau, his kids. You know, when they're you would say you could easily say their lineage is Hamitic. You know, but anyway, now so we go to the white man. So who is a white man? Well, it does say, what the Bible does say is that we are in the land of our enemy. Okay? So don't get it twisted. As a nation, they are our enemy. Okay? These other nations are our enemies. So we're to deal with them as such. But when these when a person from one of these other nations is repentant and humbles themselves and wants to join themselves to us, absolutely we are to receive them. And I can also say this: Esau ain't trying to join themselves to you. I had a person tell me, "Oh well, Esau is." They were telling me, "Well, the Jews are the elite of Esau, but the white people are the lower level Esau." Nah, Esau is elite. Period. Their whole nation's elite. If 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 there's a so-called broke or struggling Jewish person, it's documented, man. When that thing happened with the owner of the Clippers, and it came out how racist he was, he said that, and I mean this is already known though about the so-called Jewish people. When a Jewish person is struggling and they don't have any money, they give them a no interest loan. They give them a come up. That's why there ain't no broke Jews. There ain't no struggling Jews. Because they'll help they people out, no interest loan, whatever. Okay? So, and they ain't messing with you. Like, you ain't gonna have a so-called Jew coming in your Hebrew Israelite group. Like, they ain't rocking with you like that. Okay? Now, you have white people coming into your group. You can, there are videos out there, a ton, like there's a compilation of them where they have white people who come to the realization that you are the people of the book. And they come with honest, heartfelt, sincere, repentant, humble, you could tell. Uh, there's a brother here that I fellowship with. Because I've never run into a white person who was sincerely realized that we were people of the book, but he said he did, and he's like, yeah, when you run into somebody like that, there's no doubts that these people in their heart know that you're the people of the book. They understand the truth, they understand their position, and they're humble and all that. Now, you know, because to have somebody, and I'm saying that because somebody, they're not going to come in your group and be like, oh yeah, hey, how y'all doing? Yeah, this, that, and the other, and be debating on certain topics. No, when they, how, think about it like this. If you met somebody, if you found out that, hey, that person at your job or whoever it is, that is one of God's elect, like that's one of his chosen people that he cares for and loves, are you gonna be like, oh, acting like he's your equal and buddy buddy? You gonna be like, hey, how you doing, bro? You got lunch money today? You gonna be deal with him with fear and respect. And that's how, when you watch these videos of, like I said, they put together a compilation of these people who are, who have, they're white people who've come to the realization that we're the people of the book. That's how they come off. it's very obvious. It's nothing you got to wrestle with. You know, you'd love to be dealing with them in your group. They're not coming in these Hebrew Israelite groups with a bunch of pride and all that, you know. So, but and then the other thing is, I'm not running to these other nations trying to get them to join or anything. I'm trying to wake my people up. If they want to join, they could come on and get down. But outside that, I'm not running up to them, begging them to be part of me and all that stuff like that. You know, they need to humble down and recognize who, you know, who they're dealing with and everything. You know what I'm saying? Um, and and come with that spirit. And when they come, there's not going to be any doubts in my mind. Well, are they just kind of what's their agenda? No, they're going to come with sincere humility and all that. You know, because that's how I would be if my somebody their nation did me that way. You know what I'm saying? I I wouldn't come with something like, oh well, you know, we're all equal. We need to get over it, and you know what I'm saying. And that's not like I said when you watch those compilation videos of these people, you know, when you watch the compilation videos of these people who come to they're white folks who come to the realization that oh yeah y'all are the people of the book. That's how they treat them, you know. And like if I wasn't the people of the book and I found out some other race was, that's how I would come, and I'd be a servant up in there, because that was my mindset before I came to the knowledge that this was that I was a people of book. I was like, well, yeah, you know, if those I thought those so-called Jews were the people of book, and I was like, well, shoot, I'll, you know, they want me to sweep the streets in their in the kingdom, so be it. You know, I'm just happy to be there. You know, that was my mindset. Didn't come to find out I'm the people of the book. You know, so it's about humility, and this isn't a complicated thing. I mean, I'm just breaking it down, but all this whole dynamic plays out naturally. So like when a real person of one of these other nations comes in, you'll know if they're of the right spirit. But if they come in with that proud spirit, you'll know that you know, you'll see that too. It won't sit right with you. And like I said, um, a lot of this, like for instance, I lived in Saudi Arabia for a while I was in the military, and I didn't just stay because I was in the Middle East a bunch, but I actually lived in a city in Saudi Arabia among them. So I saw there's black Saudi Arabians that look just like me, but then there's the ruling class, the House of Saud, who looks more like European. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of this stuff I've seen firsthand, in a spiritual combat ministry. Brother Adanahu, he's lived over in the Middle East and in Africa, so he's brought even more insight in there. And then just studying, I used to do a lot of investing and study a lot of financial stuff and geopolitics. Another point about who Esau is: 50% of the billionaires, or almost 50%, I think it's like 47 or whatever, of the billionaires in America are what? So-called Jews. Okay? And just for some gee whiz, we make up less than 1% of them. You know what I'm saying? The rest are made up of, you know, other different nations, stuff like that. But, you know, and when you look at the numbers, you know, you could just go on and on about that. But a lot of people just want to, you know, be super hateful. They want to project their emotions and what they want to do in their agenda on the Bible, whether it be people wanting to just be hateful to white people, as you know, and just simplify it, throw them all in one thing, or whether it be people who want to join themselves and envy their oppressor and be part of white people, you know. And I'm not either one. I'm about my people. I'm about waking my people up. I'm about helping my people. If you want to get down, come on and get down. Other than that, I ain't gonna be up in your face. You don't need. A lot of people think they need these other nations' money. You don't. We don't need other nations' money. All we need is unity. When you turn this to this, you know, and you unite, you don't need money. You just help each other out, and you don't need as much money coming in from other nations or whatever. You can work a little menial job and still have plenty. So that's what a lot of this is, and that's where I'm at in my understanding right now. I'm not saying you better believe this and this is fact, but I gave you evidence and information of why I got the mindset I got. That's the understanding that I have on this thing. You know, I don't hear a lot of that put out there. A lot of people don't put out why they are, how they arrived at their conclusion. A lot, and the reason why is because a lot of it's emotional, whether it's greed or whether it's just hatred or whatever. But anyway, let me know your opinion. Let me know how you arrived at your understanding. Put it in the comments, and or let me know if you agree with me on the conclusion I arrived at. I'm not gonna, it's not gonna turn into a debate or anything. Like, I'm not one of them crazy emotional people. I like Divine Prospect. I like the way he arrives at stuff where he's not projecting on stuff. He's just researching the data that's out there. That's my mindset too. With that said, like I said, I want to know your opinion and how you arrived at your conclusion. Don't be afraid to put it out there. And so put it in there in the comments so we could discuss it. With that said, shalom and have a nice day.